Hey guys, welcome to Whiskey and Literature. I'm your host, Captain Mike, and this is my Hurricane Idalia whiskey review number 1. And I'm not trying to make light of anything. If you're in the path of the storm, honestly, I wish you the best, and I hope you're doing everything you can to keep you and your family safe. I am currently under a mandatory evacuation. It took effect about 4 hours ago. I'm still in my house. There's nothing going on tonight, so we're still here. We have a hotel tomorrow and Wednesday night just in case, about 4.1 miles away in a non-evacuation, non-flood zone in North St. Pete. So I really do hope if you are going to be impacted by the storm, you're doing everything you can to either get out of the way of the storm or get prepared for it. I know we've done everything we can. We own a house here. We own 2 houses. About a 5-minute walk, both of them, to the beach here in a small town, a small community in the Gulf Coast of Florida. So we've done everything we can at the Airbnb. It's all buttoned up, sandbagged, etc. Now we're just kind of waiting for the 11 o'clock update to see what the hurricane's doing. And I thought I'd open up a bottle of whiskey and see what's going on. Actually, I picked up Remus Repeal a few weeks ago, and I thought I would open this tonight, and I was like, hey, maybe I should compare it to some other whiskey and see what else is going on. And I looked around to see what I hadn't packed up to take to the hotel with me. And I thought, okay, what other high rye bourbon do I have? Couldn't really find one until I came across the Grizzly Beast from Redwood Empire. This is a bottle and bond 4-grain whiskey and also high rye mash bill. And honestly, I'm pretty exhausted. It's been a long day. We were doing so much stuff, getting ready. I actually went to work today, and then we spent the rest of the day just getting ready for the hurricane. So I'm only gonna drink one whiskey, and I've been waffling back and forth. I've owned this Grizzly Beast for almost a year now, probably. This is a 2022 Grizzly Beast. I just bought the Remus Repeal, and it's got great reviews, and I wanna open this one. And you know what, I'm gonna do it. Grizzly Beast, you're on the shelf for a little while longer yet. Gonna put you on the back burner. I'm gonna get to you. I have the Grizzly Beast and the Rocket Top, both bottled and bond from Redwood Empire. And this is the straight rye. And I don't know why I haven't opened them. I've had them for a long time and just been kind of looking at them, and they're products that it's bottled and bond, so they are Redwood Empire products. They're not an MGP blend. So, man, I don't know why I haven't opened them. But I'm gonna make them sit there for a while longer yet before I get to it. But let's talk about the Remus Repeal. Remus Repeal Reserve. This is 6. I have not had any of Remus Repeal. Have any tonight if I can't get it open. Man, where's my knife when I need it? There we go. So I didn't know anything about this whiskey. I have not had any of the previous iterations. Man, there you go. Just force it off. It made that difficult. I usually pre-pull the tab a little bit, but I wasn't sure which whiskey that I wanted, so I just instantly went with that Remus Repeal, so that's why I didn't pre-tear the tab. Okay, I've not had any of the previous iterations of the Remus Repeal. This is 6, so I've heard great things about the earlier ones. And let's go through what's in this bottle. Let's give it a pour real quick, and then let's talk about what's in here. Just take a couple sips, let you know what I think. Call it a night. I think tomorrow's gonna be a long day as well. And I've got about 8 or 9 bottles of whiskey that I'm taking with me to the hotel. I'm not gonna have anything to do, so I'm just gonna sip on some whiskey and hopefully make some more Hurricane Idalia videos while we watch what happens. Okay, straight bourbon whiskey, 50% ABV. Now this is it's a medley, 2022 medley. So they've got 5 different whiskeys in here. 3 of them are high rye, 21% rye, and I don't know about you, but I drink enough MGP blends that when I see a high rye bourbon that's 21% rye, I instantly think MGP. So I literally did not know this was an MGP product when I bought it. And I'm sitting here looking at the blends of whiskeys that are in here, and I was like, oh, this must be an MGP product. Well, okay, so 2% is a 2008 bourbon, 21%, these are all, the first three are the high rye bourbon mash bills from MGP. 2% is a 2008, 27% is 2012, 29% is a 2014, and then we have an even higher rye mash bill, 36% rye, and that's a 2012 and 2014, and that's 17 and 25% respectively. Now I understand that the age 6 version of this Remus Repeal Reserve went way down, like the age of the whiskey from the version 5. And some guys complain about that, though the reviews have still been pretty good for the whiskey, so we'll see. I got this on sale a few weeks ago, found it for $79.99, and it says distilled by Ross and Squibb Distillery, Lawrenceburg, Indiana. And so when I read Lawrenceburg, I also thought, oh, MGP, but then Ross and Squibb, which is a, if MGP distills it, they have a couple of their own brands. One of them is Ross and Squibb, and so this is an MGP. We're talking about Prohibition on the back and the repeal of the Prohibition in 1933. This 22 limited edition, rich candied fruit, a hint of nutmeg, leather, candied fruit, and fig jam on the taste with oak, char, mint, caramel, nutmeg, toffee, honey, finishing with sweet candied fruit, leather, lingering sweetness, and rye spice. Man, that sounds amazing. Be legendary, sip responsibly. So like I said, I got this for $79.99, and according to the price tag, that was $20 off. I think at Total Wine, this is $109, so I feel pretty good about $79. And if I had drinking the Grizzly Beast, that was $89.99 when I bought that. I do drink a lot of MGP blends. Of course, the Redwood Empire, the High West. I just bought the High West cask strength, and that's part Heaven Hill and part MGP, and that was pretty good. So you'd be surprised if you don't know, and I know a lot of guys that I work with, they are not aware that the whiskey that they're drinking perhaps is not distilled by that distillery or that producer. Smoke Wagon, Penelope now. Again, I just opened this. Okay, you can definitely, and it just that MGP smell, that high rye mash bill. Ooh, a little bit of sweetness in there. It's got a different note to expect from High West. And I keep threatening to do a High West counter each time I do a video. How many times do I say High West in a video? I think maybe for the first time I noticed maybe a hint of leather on the nose of this whiskey. I don't know that I've ever gotten that note on any whiskey before. I'm still developing that. It's been a new thing to me as I experience more and more whiskeys. It's been great, and as I discover new things, it is still a nice citrus note. Again, that what I think of as a high rye MGP blend. Though the age statement on this one, even though guys are complaining that this is younger than version 5 compared to some of the High West that I drink, and that is a much younger whiskey. A lot of the double ryes, the Rendezvous rye is a bit older. I believe their cask strength bourbon was 4 to 9 years old. It's just like a different note in there. I'm gonna say it has a hint of leather. That's exciting. It's exciting to me as I take more whiskeys, nose them, drink them, taste them, experience them, as I catch these new notes. One of the few notes that I can reliably always detect, I feel like, is banana. There's no banana on this nose, but it's nice. It smells rich. I feel like I can probably smell this for a long time and keep getting different notes. A hint of vanilla. Okay, that's been a bit of oak on that one. I feel like sometimes I nose a whiskey and I only get one note, or just it's very flat, it's faint, it's hard to pick anything up. But I feel like I could just keep smelling this over and over and keep getting more notes. That smells like old oak. Anyway, very nice, very nice. I'm impressed with this. And guys, some guys do poo-poo the whole MGP thing. I was in Kentucky recently, and an old Carter rep came in, and I was considering having a Whistlepig 18. I'm sorry, not Whistlepig 18, the Midwinter Nights Dram, and he was poo-pooing that as just it's just Indiana whiskey. And I was like, okay, well, they're doing something right. I didn't have the Midwinter Nights Dram. I had the old Carter, and it was pretty good. Cheers, guys. My first whiskey of the evening. And that first mouthful was very nice, very pleasant. Not really biting. I'm getting some of that rye spice. That's what I'm noticing first off. Again, that bit of citrus. It's really nice. So again, Hurricane Idalia, it's coming here. This is it's Monday. It's 11 p.m. just about. Again, I hope wherever you are, you're either not in the path of the storm at all, and you can watch safely from your couch. And if you are in the path of the storm, I hope you're doing what you need to do for you and your family. I packed up, I have probably 10 bottles that aren't opened, like my really high dollar stuff that for me is high dollar. I have the Lineage from Jim Beam. I have the Hardin's Creek Frankfurt. And these are all unopened. Still, I just haven't gotten around to opening them yet. My Boss Hog, which is my contract bottle, so I'm not opening that until we get our new contract at work. I have my Whistlepig 18. It's up, gonna be going with me in the car. I have probably 7 other, my Bookers, and a couple other bottles that are kind of high dollar to me that I haven't opened, and I've just taken them with me. I do have that I'm planning on drinking, a few of them that aren't open. I have some Irish whiskeys. I'm gonna do some head-to-head with an Irish blend. And I have a single pot still Irish whiskey that I'm gonna do a head-to-head with. I am taking my Stag, which I'm excited about that. I have never had a pour of Stag. So I have that with me, and I'm gonna open that at the hotel. I also have Russell's Reserve 13. And I'm taking that until I haven't opened it. And man, I am a fan of the Wild Turkey products and that Russell Reserve. I've liked all the ones that I've had, and I'm really excited to open that 13. And so it's going to be with me, and so look forward to those. I'm also taking the Fibonacci blend from Stellum. It won the Best Blended Straight Rye in 2023 on the Ascot Awards. So I think I'm going to open that one with Mrs. Captain, because we had this Stellum Black Rye, and we thought that was really good. So I'm excited to have the Fibonacci blend, and I think we'll do that one together in the hotel tomorrow. Anyway, this Remus Repeal Reserve, that's a mouthful. Man, first, just a bit of mint on there. Again, that citrus, still perhaps a bit of orange, and then that's that high rye. I really like it. I really like a high rye whiskey. I like ryes, and if I drink a bourbon, and I have plenty of bourbons, I'll drink a low rye bourbon, no problem. But if it's a high rye bourbon, I like it even more better. So This is really impressing me. I'm really happy I got it at 20 bucks off, but I would be happy at this at 100 bucks even. No problem. And I'm actually really glad I'm not doing a head-to-head today with this and the Grizzly Beast. Like I said, it's been a long day today. Have you spent any time today getting prepared for the hurricane? You know, I've got some guys here in my neighborhood who've been in Florida for a long time, and they're just like, yeah, we're not leaving. I'm like, yeah, well, I've only been here a couple of years, so I get pretty nervous when these storms come in. And we got really lucky. We got lucky last year, and Fort Myers got really unlucky. And that's just kind of the way it goes. And actually, our Airbnb that we bought in the neighborhood, when Etta came by in 2020 on Veterans Day, it wasn't that big of a storm. And we didn't own the Airbnb at the time. The storm surge came in right when the high tide, some king tide or something, came at the same time. And the Airbnb actually, that house flooded in 2020. So we're hoping to not have a repeat of that. Right now the hurricane is tracking a little north and west of the Tampa Bay. If it keeps on that track, we're gonna have, as the wind rotates, it's gonna push the water into the bay, which is going to give us the storm surge. And so that's really why we're going to the hotel tomorrow. I'm not super concerned about the winds and whatnot. The rain, no big deal. What we're concerned about is the storm surge coinciding with the high tide. So that's why Mrs. Captain and I, we're playing it safe. We've got our whiskey, we got some peanut butter, and we're going to the hotel. So, there was some more of that leather as I was going in. Again, I find that as I go in for sips, I feel like I'm inhaling when I'm doing that, and everything's open as I'm preparing to drink, and I get that nose in a little deeper. I don't know, it just goes further in, and I get some extra notes, and that was a really strong leather note there. And it's still finishing there really nicely. First it's kind of a sweetness, and then it just kind of finishes with some of that spice. And it's a great mouthfeel. This, man, I assume the 5's not available. Everyone was really complimentary about that one. It's a much older age statement, but this Remus Repeal Reserve 6, I think is really my type of whiskey. High rye mash bill, different flavors and notes, and I think it's pretty good. How about you? Have you had this whiskey? What do you think about it? For $79.99, I mean, Grizzly Beast, again, I haven't opened it yet. $89.99. I don't know what other whiskey that I have that is that high rye mash bill in the 100 proof range. Again, I have the High West cask strength. I have some other bourbons. I just don't think they're that high of a rye mash bill. So that's why I didn't get anything else out to compare to this, except for the Grizzly Beast, and I just didn't feel like opening 2 whiskeys tonight. It's, again, been a long day. But guys, I think this is a pretty good whiskey. I'm excited to get deeper into this, and this is just my first pour tonight. I'm gonna have another pour and take it into the other room with Mrs. Captain and watch the weather. And guys, I really hope if you are in the path of the storm that you're being safe, and that your whiskey is safe, and especially that your family's safe as well. But right for now, I hope you're reading something good and drinking something great. Turn the pages, my friends, and stay thirsty. Cheers.